Hey family, it's MarshaunO, your favorite life and relationship strategist, and I am here for part three. Part three of how to prepare for marriage. Yes, and if you have not seen the first two, then after this one, go ahead and search for them. But I will have a playlist by the end of this series. So go ahead and check out the playlist. Again, this is part three. And today we're talking about don't force the relationship. This is how you're preparing for marriage. You do not want to force something that is just not working. Now, disclaimer, this is not for the couples or the people like you're deciding to get into this relationship, but now you're in a valley within the relationship. It's just a rough patch. You are not the people that I'm talking to, because there's always going to be ups and downs until you guys get to really know each other. And I'm talking about know each other well, where you can like look at them like, okay, they don't want to talk today. Okay, they're actually going through something. Let me see if they're ready to talk and share. And if not, then I can back off. I'm not talking to y'all, right? I'm not talking to you two. I'm talking about while you are dating and while you are trying to say, I really want to be in a relationship, but it's just not working out for me. Or this person, I'm trying to see if they're right for me, if they're not right for me. And so I'm going to give you some things that you need to look for so you do not feel like you are forcing the relationship or the non-relationship really to fall into place, because it's never going to fall into place unless you both are on one accord and you're both available emotionally, physically, spiritually, of course, all of those, right? So it's never going to work. And I'm gonna give you some things to just think about, to say, okay, am I doing this? Am I forcing the relationship? And so one of the things that I want you to think about is, how often are each of you calling, texting, emailing, FaceTiming, however it is you communicate? How often are you doing that? Do you find yourself that you're the main person who's doing this, or you're the main one who's reaching out? You're always making the contact first. You're always sending the text message. You're always making the dates. You're always saying, okay, hey, I would like to see you, whether it's a phone call, again, whether it's phone call, text, however it is that you usually communicate with this person. Are you the person who's usually doing this first? And does it seem to come off as excessive? It comes off as excessive if both of you are not equally doing it. And because it's excessive, right? It's excessive in the other person's eyes. And because it's excessive in their eyes, they are falling back from you. And they're not answering your calls, your texts, your emails as fast as they once did. Because something about you, something about your actions, something about what's going on with them, because it doesn't always have to do with you, is why they're falling back. But it feels forced. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is something natural. Oh, I haven't talked to Tim today. Let me call Tim. I haven't talked to Keisha today. Let me reach out. Oh, dang. It's been a whole day. I haven't realized that we haven't spoken. So if it's not something that's going on like that between the both of you, you might be forcing it a little bit. So mirror what the other person is doing, and at some point you'll be able to move away completely, unless they decide to come back stronger this time around. Otherwise, mirror what they're showing you, and if that brings you closer, great. If it takes you further apart where you can now move on with life, then do that away as well and accept it. But again, you don't want to force anybody to be with you. You do not want to force anybody to feel like you are the second choice or even the third choice, and they're like, you know what, well, we've been hanging out so much, I mean, I guess, or dang, she keep cooking my food and the food is good, I don't really like her like that, but all right, let me give her a chance. Because if they're not choosing you like, oh my God, yay, yeah, that's what they're doing, yay. If they're not choosing you like that, eventually they're going to have a wandering eye. And you don't want nobody to have a wandering eye if you're not number one. Now, there's other things that can come into play about the wandering eye, but that's not what this video is about. Just keep that in mind, okay? You want them to be 100% in with you. And sometimes it can feel like they're not, if they're not this very expressive person. Sometimes you might guess where they are. But by and large, because you guys are still hanging out, the communication is there, the contact is there, the questions they'll dissipate as much because the actions are there versus the verbal words. But again, this depends on each and every person is different. But by and large, if you are doing most of the calling, most of the texting, most of the saying, hey, let's get together, you're probably forcing it. I brought up dates before, but I want to take a deeper dive into that. If you are the only one or the one who's doing it the majority of the time, where like you're thinking about, okay, you know what, I want to go to this concert, I want to go with John. And John is he's always a receiver, always the receiver. He loves to show up, he loves to go with you, but he's never doing it for you. He's never reciprocating. He's never saying, you know what, I would actually like to go to the planetarium with Keisha, or I would actually like to go to a concert with Keisha. Let me buy the tickets. Let me make the date. He's probably just a taker. And he more than likely does not have a long-term, or she, depending on, the sex that you like, okay? He or she does not see a future with you if you are the only one who is the give. Only thing they doing is take. So if you're the one who's constantly making all of the dates, probably forcing the relationship. Another thing to think about. Don't be the only one who's making time for this other person. For instance, you call Keisha to say, hey Keisha, I would like to take you out on Friday. And Keisha's like, you know what? I need to get back with you because blah, 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 right? Friday finally comes, but you don't hear from Keisha until like 2 hours until she wants to meet. Well, Keisha probably ain't into you like that, because when you're into somebody, you do not wait until the last minute. Please listen to that, sis. Please listen to that, bruh. When somebody is into you and you are into somebody, please think about this. When you're into somebody, you don't wait till the last minute. You like, shoot, I want to hang out with John this Friday. So let me see if John is available. Or I want to hang out with Keisha this Friday. Let me see if Keisha is available, because we all know, and if you don't know, let me shed some light with you. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are your prime days because most people are not working those days. Or it could be Friday evening, right? Like after work, when you know that the weekend is about to take off. If you are not getting those, at least one, and depending on the stage that you're in, but I'm talking to people that are early daters right now, but you could be further on dating, but you guys have just been dating, but you still have not gotten the full weekend. Pay attention to that, sis. Pay attention to that, bruh. But if you are newly dating and you never get Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, again, not all 3 days, especially in the beginning, but if you're not getting one of those prime days, pay attention. That's all I'm saying, because again, it is dependent on people's lives. Some people do work third shift, etc. But by and large, when you want to see somebody, you will make the time for him or for her. You will. Just think about all the people that you make time for, all the things that you make time to do. We all do. We all spend time with people that we want to spend time with. No excuses. Even if you have to fit me in today and then we have a longer date another day, we make time for the people that we want to be in our life. So you don't have to feel like they are forcing, or you are forcing the relationship to happen. So how much time are they making for you, or is it always last minute? Is it the booty call hours in the middle of the night? Let me see you. Is it always Netflix and chill? Is it always come hang out at my place? Is it always just sex? Anytime you want to talk about something deeper, they change the subject, or they just don't answer. They act like they can't hear you. They so into their video game or whatever it is that they're doing. But you notice that the conversation never takes a deeper dive. It's always surface level stuff. Pay attention to that. They don't see a future with you. Don't force the relationship. Another thing to think about. Are you constantly changing who you are, who your core is, in order for that person that you're potentially dating to like you? That's you forcing it. Because you can't keep that up, and you won't keep it up. After a while, we all become ourselves. We all show who we truly are, even if it's years down the road. So why invest all of this time and energy now, knowing that you don't like this person, or after you watch this video, now you're like, okay, well, damn, he don't like me like that, or she don't like me like that. It's okay. because they don't know that you watch this video, number one. Number two, now that you got the information, you got to do something different in order to get different results, which is pull back and move on with your life. Simple. Nobody else has to know that you watched this video and that you're doing something different. But here's the thing, you know, because this is how you're preparing for marriage. This is how you're getting the information, but you're not forcing the relationship to happen, to take off. It should be nice and simple. See, one of the things that I really, really liked about my now husband is each and every time we got off of a date, or the date was about to end, I should say, he made the next date. And every time it happened like that, and he said it's because he felt that I was a good woman and he did not want anybody else to snatch me up. Ladies, did you hear that? He felt like I was a good woman, of course, a good time to be around. And then he didn't want nobody else to snatch me up. Men know when they want to take you off the market. They might not do it right then and there, but they already know when it's a good thing in front of them. They will do something about it. If he's not constantly making dates and plans, not just dates the day of, no, plans to be with you, plans to hang out with you, plans to take you somewhere or meet you somewhere, you're probably forcing it. And he's probably not as into you as you think he is. And she too. This could be a she as well. But that's one of the things I really admired about my now husband, because he made sure, bam, we had a good time on the date. So when can I see you again? Or, you know, when is your availability? Next date. Okay, at the end of the date. So when can I see you again? When is your availability? He just kept going. And now we're married. So anywho, I'm just saying it makes a difference, ladies. Men, it makes a difference. Use the word date. Don't use the word hang out. Ladies love to hear the word date. We do. Trust me, I've had enough clients that want to hear that word. They don't want to hear hang out. They don't want to hear let's meet up. They want to hear that you are planning a date, or that this is a date for him or for her. And usually for her. The men is usually asking. But the word, they want to hear the word date. They don't want to hear the word date, hang out. I cannot say that enough. For my millennials, you guys are having a hard time using the word date. Trust me, the ladies want to hear the word date, not hang out. So if hang out is your vocabulary, if that is your go-to, change that to the word date. It's going to make a difference. You're going to show up differently. She's going to show up differently. You guys are going to have a better time. And then you can also, she'll know that you're interested in her in that way, and she's not guessing. You get it? Use the word date. The last thing that I want you to think about, ladies and gentlemen, is do you feel alone even when you are with him or with her? When you guys are in the same room, or when you are next to your potential forever date? Do you still feel alone in there? Or do you feel like you have to speak every single moment that you guys are together? You feel anxious. You feel like what's going on in his head, what's going on in her head, and you have to feel every single solitary moment of empty space or quiet time. How comfortable are you around this person? And I know that it might take a few moments, a few dates, so I get that. But some people you just automatically feel comfortable with. Like literally, that's my superpower with men and women. You know how much stuff I hear? How much stuff I hear from men and women because I make them feel comfortable. And it's not something that I'm just like trying to do just to get information. That's just who I am. Because I want people to feel comfortable. Period. No matter who you are. Like literally, that's one of my superpowers. People always say they feel so comfortable with me and that I'm not going to judge them. It's just because, here's the thing, I don't want nobody to judge me. So I don't care about your junk or your baggage. Sometimes we just need people to release. And this is a tangent for sure. It has nothing to do with this. But sometimes we just need to talk. And I have a great listening ear. And I hear a lot of what people are not saying. And then I address that, because if you could hear what people are not saying, people would trust you so much more. And that's why they're so comfortable with me, because I don't judge them. I am a very curious person. It doesn't mean that I agree with everything that I hear. Not at all. It's just I'm curious as to why you are becoming that person. Why did you want to try that out? Why did you do this? Why did you go here? Why did you say that to your spouse? How do you think your spouse took? Like, that's where I'm at, which is why I'm a pretty decent coach. So with that being said, this is video 3 or part 3 of the How to Prepare for Marriage series. Again, check out the first 2. I definitely have a few more videos. I think I have, like I said, 6 to 8 videos in this series. Again, the playlist will ensue, so definitely check them all out. Again, ladies and gentlemen, slow things down. When you're preparing for marriage, again, this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. So you do not want to just go out there and just choose somebody just because you are tired of the dating process. Don't do it. Don't force the relationship. Understand who you are, why you do the things that you do. How much work have you done on yourself? Like, understanding all of these things are going to make a huge difference in you choosing your next partner and you attracting your next partner. So again, you have to know what you want. You have to understand who you are in that moment, and definitely right now. How much work have you done in yourself? Do the things that I mentioned in the previous video. Do those things, and then don't force the relationship, which is the title today. And the work that you're going to do here is basically you're going to be watching just to see, are you giving too much? Are you the only one who's giving? Are you the only one who's calling? Are you the only one that's making the dates? Are you the only one who's changing your time to fit this person into your schedule? Do you feel lonely or alone when you're in their presence? This video, you're just watching to see. Because if any of these things are happening, and I really should say the majority of these things are happening, this person is not for you. It's not, sis. This person is not for you, bruh, if you're constantly doing so much work. Now, for the men, here's what I'll say for the men as well. You want to do a little bit more because we want to feel, women want to feel that you're truly into them, right? And quiet as it's kept, a lot of us are still old school. And a lot of the women will not approach you, fellas, because they're still thinking, well, he should come to me. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. You do what you do. What I am saying, fellas, is that for you need to assess the situation a little bit differently than the women. Take a deeper dive. Is she truly into you, or is she just going for a free meal? Let's keep it real. Ladies do that all the time. Is she truly into you, or is she just laughing at your cheesy jokes because insert the reason, right? There's some things that you have to do differently, but you still know when a person is truly into you, when they're truly enjoying your company, when you do not want the date to end. And that's how you know that you are not forcing the relationship. Also, if you pick up on what my husband did with me, if you ask the person, okay, when can I see you again? And they like, no, just, it's okay. You picked up on the signal. Move on with life. But if she like, oh, okay, good. Well, you know what? I don't have my schedule in front of me. Or if she like, yeah, let's do next Friday. You know that she's into you. If she's like, oh my God, because she lives a busy life, most of us are busy, let me check my schedule. I don't want to overbook. I'm going to get back to you as soon as I get home. She's into you. Unless she's just lying, and you will know that too, because she's not going to get back to you. And that's okay too. That's the whole thing. I want you to understand that this, again, is a marathon. You're not out here to meet each and every person. You're out here to meet your person, your special person, your forever date. And that's not going to be everybody. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am MarshaunO, your favorite life and relationship strategist. I will see you in part number 4. Bye, y'all.